In the world of legendary weapons, few carry the mystique, elegance, and deadly precision quite like the katana. Though, with its razor-sharp blade and gracefully curved design, this sword isn't just a weapon. It's a symbol of honor, discipline, and centuries of samurai tradition. But where did it all begin? How did this iconic blade rise from the forges of ancient Japan to become a cultural icon known around the world? In today's video, we dive deep into the fascinating history of the katana, from its mysterious origins to the battlefield legacy that made it legendary. This is the story of the sword that shaped a nation. In the heart of Japan's feudal past, the katana emerged not just as a weapon, but as a profound symbol of the samurai's soul and the nation's cultural heritage. This iconic sword, renowned for its unparalleled craftsmanship and lethal precision, carved its way into history alongside the warriors who wielded it. The earliest katanas date back to the Kamakura period, 1885–1333, a time when the need for more effective weaponry arose in response to the changing dynamics of warfare. These swords were shorter and more curved than their predecessors, allowing for quicker draws and decisive cuts, which were crucial in the swift confrontations typical of that era. The significance of the katana extends beyond its physical attributes. It embodies the spirit and discipline of the samurai class. For these warriors, the katana was not merely an instrument of war, but a sacred object imbued with personal and familial honor. Each blade was painstakingly crafted by skilled artisans known as tosho, who passed down their techniques through generations, treating each sword as a unique piece of art. The forging process itself was steeped in ritual and tradition, reflecting the deep respect and reverence held for this emblematic weapon. This narrative will unfold across 12 meticulously detailed chapters, each delving into different facets of the katana's storied past, from its origins in ancient battlefields to its status as a revered artifact in modern times. Every chapter will explore the intricate tapestry of history, culture, and artistry woven around this legendary sword. As we journey through time, readers will gain insight into how the katana has influenced Japanese society and continues to captivate enthusiasts worldwide, maintaining its legacy as one of the most iconic symbols of Japanese heritage. Each chapter promises a rich exploration of specific themes, such as the evolution of sword-making techniques, the role of the katana in samurai philosophy, and its depiction in art and literature throughout the ages. With approximately 6,000 characters per chapter, the depth and breadth of content will provide a comprehensive understanding of the katana's impact on both historical and contemporary contexts. Whether you are a history enthusiast, a martial arts aficionado, or simply intrigued by the mystique of the samurai, this series offers a compelling dive into the world of the katana, a true icon of Japanese history. Would you like to proceed to the first chapter, where we explore the initial development of sword making in Japan and the societal conditions that gave rise to the katana? Long before the katana became a symbol of samurai prowess, the art of sword making in Japan was already a refined craft deeply intertwined with the nation's spiritual and cultural fabric. To understand the emergence of the katana, one must first delve into the early history of Japanese metallurgy and the innovations that laid its foundation. During the Yayoi period 300 BCE 300 CE, iron working techniques were introduced to Japan from the Korean peninsula and China, marking the beginning of a metallurgical tradition that would evolve over centuries. Early Japanese swords, such as the chokuto, straight, single-edged blades modeled after Chinese jan, were forged using rudimentary methods. However, these swords lacked the sophistication and durability required for the evolving demands of warfare. The turning point came during the Kofun period 250–53 CE, when Japanese swordsmiths began experimenting with steel, a material far superior to the iron used in earlier blades. The introduction of tatana, a traditional Japanese bloomery furnace, revolutionized sword production. This method allowed for the smelting of iron sand, satitsu, and charcoal to produce high-quality steel, known as tamahagane. Unlike imported steel, tamahagane could be carefully controlled to create blades with varying degrees of hardness and flexibility, essential qualities for crafting durable yet sharp swords. The tatara process, steeped in Shinto rituals, became a cornerstone of Japanese sword-making, blending technical expertise with spiritual reverence, as the Nara 794 CE and Heian 794–1185 CE periods unfolded. Japanese swordsmiths honed their skills further, developing techniques like differential hardening and folding. Differential hardening involved coating the blade with clay in varying thicknesses before quenching, creating a hardened edge capable of cutting while leaving the spine flexible to absorb impact. Folding, on the other hand, entailed repeatedly hammering and folding the steel to eliminate impurities and distribute carbon evenly, resulting in a blade with a distinctive grain pattern known as hade. These advancements laid the groundwork for the katana's eventual design, which balanced strength, sharpness, and resilience. The transformation of Japanese society during the late Heian period played a pivotal role in shaping the evolution of swords. As centralized authority weakened and regional warlords gained power, Japan descended into a period of constant conflict. Mounted warriors, known as bushi, rose to prominence, relying on straight swords like the tachi for combat. The tachi, worn suspended edge down from the waist, was effective for slashing from horseback but proved less practical in close-quarters battles. The increasing frequency of infantry engagements necessitated a shift in sword design, one that prioritized versatility and speed. This shift coincided with the rise of the samurai class, whose ethos emphasized discipline, loyalty, and martial skill. Swords were no longer mere tools of war, but extensions of the warrior's identity, embodying their code of conduct. Bushi. The demand for superior weapons spurred innovation among swordsmiths, who sought to create blades that could meet the rigorous demands of samurai combat. By the late 12th century, the seeds of the katana's development had been sown, as craftsmen experimented with shorter, more curved designs, better suited for quick-draw techniques and precise strikes. Beyond technological advances, the cultural and religious milieu of ancient Japan profoundly influenced sword-making practices. Shinto beliefs imbued the forging process with spiritual significance, viewing the creation of a sword as a sacred act. Rituals performed at the tada site invoked the blessings of kami, spirits, ensuring the purity of the materials and the success of the forge. Buddhist principles also permeated the craft, particularly the concept of impermanence, which resonated with the transient beauty of a blade's polished surface and the fleeting nature of life itself. Swordsmiths were revered as master artisans, their work celebrated in poetry, art, and folklore. Legendary figures like Amakuni, credited with creating the first curved Japanese sword, became mythical embodiments of the union between human ingenuity and divine inspiration. The reverence accorded to swords reflected their dual role as instruments of destruction and vessels of artistic expression, bridging the mortal and spiritual realms. By the end of the Heian period, the stage was set for the katana's debut. The convergence of advanced metallurgical techniques, shifting societal needs, and cultural reverence for swords created an environment ripe for innovation. As Japan entered the tumultuous Kamakura period, the katana would emerge as the definitive answer to the challenges faced by samurai warriors. Its design represented not only a technical triumph, but also a philosophical statement about the balance between strength and grace, aggression and restraint. Would you like to continue to Chapter 2, where we explore the Kamakura period and the birth of the katana amidst the chaos of civil strife? Alternatively, feel free to revisit any part of this chapter, or pause your journey here. The Kamakura period, 1195, 133, marked a transformative epoch in Japanese history, characterized by political upheaval, social reorganization, and the ascendance of the samurai class. It was within this crucible of conflict and change that the katana emerged as a revolutionary weapon, perfectly adapted to the demands of medieval warfare and the evolving ethos of the warrior elite. This chapter delves into the socio-political landscape of the Kamakura era, examining how the interplay of necessity, innovation, and tradition gave rise to the katana's iconic design, a blade that would come to define the samurai's identity and legacy. The Kamakura period began with the establishment of the Kamakura shogunate by Minamoto no Yoritamo, the first shogun to unify Japan under a military government. This marked the decline of imperial authority and the rise of a decentralized feudal system dominated by regional warlords, daimyo and their retinues of samurai. Power struggles between rival clans, such as the Genpei War, 1180–185 between the Minamoto and Taira clans, underscored the importance of martial prowess and battlefield effectiveness. In this climate of ceaseless conflict, swords became indispensable tools for survival and symbols of a warrior's honor. The transition from mounted archery to close-quarters combat necessitated a new type of weapon. While the tachi, long, curved, and designed for cavalry use, remained prevalent, its limitations became apparent in infantry engagements. The tachi's length and suspension style made it cumbersome for rapid drawing and unsuitable for the swift, decisive strikes required in skirmishes. Recognizing these shortcomings, swordsmiths began experimenting with shorter, more versatile blades that could be drawn quickly and wielded effectively in tight spaces. This experimentation laid the foundation for the katana's development, a sword tailored to the dynamic and unpredictable nature of samurai warfare. The katana's defining features, its moderate length, pronounced curvature, and razor-sharp edge were born out of practical considerations. Measuring between 60 and 80 centimeters, the katana struck a balance between reach and maneuverability, making it ideal for both offensive and defensive actions. Its curvature, achieved through meticulous forging and differential hardening, allowed for smooth, slicing motions that maximized cutting efficiency. The blade's single-edged design concentrated force along a narrow plane, enabling it to sever through armor, flesh, and bone with devastating precision. Perhaps the most revolutionary aspect of the katana was its method of wear. Unlike the tachi, which hung edge down from the belt, the katana was worn edge up, tucked into the obi sash at the waist. This orientation facilitated the iaijutsu technique, a method of drawing and striking in one fluid motion. Speed and surprise were paramount in samurai combat, and the katana's design empowered warriors to neutralize threats almost instantaneously. This innovation not only enhanced battlefield performance but also elevated the katana to a central role in samurai training and philosophy. At the heart of the katana's superiority lay the extraordinary skill of Japanese swordsmiths, who elevated blade making to an art form. The use of tamahagani, a high-carbon steel produced in the Tatar furnace, was instrumental in achieving the katana's legendary strength and sharpness. Swordsmiths carefully selected pieces of tamahagani based on their carbon content, folding and hammering the steel to remove impurities and achieve a uniform composition. This labor-intensive process resulted in a blade with a complex internal structure, combining a hard edge for cutting with a flexible spine for shock absorption. The differential hardening technique further distinguished the katana. By applying a thin layer of clay to the blade's spine and a thicker layer to its edge before quenching, swordsmiths created a gradient of hardness. This produced the characteristic hamon, a wavy temper line visible along the blade's surface that not only enhanced its aesthetic appeal but also contributed to its functionality. The hamon served as a visual testament to the swordsmith's mastery, each pattern unique to the blade and its creator. Beyond its practical utility, the katana embodied the ideals of the samurai class. Bushido, the way of the warrior, emphasized virtues such as loyalty, courage, and self-discipline, which were mirrored in the katana's design and use. The sword's balance between elegance and lethality reflected the samurai's dual commitment to refinement and ruthlessness. Training in kenjutsu, swordsmanship, became an integral part of a samurai's education, instilling discipline and fostering a deep connection between the warrior and their weapon. The katana also carried profound symbolic weight. It was believed to house the samurai's spirit, and the act of drawing the blade was seen as an extension of the warrior's will. Rituals surrounding the care and maintenance of the katana reinforced its sacred status, with warriors often performing meticulous cleaning and oiling to preserve its condition. This reverence extended to the sword's presentation, with ornate fittings, koshi-rei and scabbards crafted to reflect the owner's status and personality. The katana's effectiveness was tested repeatedly on the battlefields of the Kamakura period. Conflicts such as the Mongol invasions of 2074 and 2081 demonstrated the weapon's adaptability and resilience. Facing heavily armored Mongol forces, Japanese warriors relied on the katana's cutting power to penetrate leather and lacquered defenses. Accounts from the period describe samurai wielding their katanas with unmatched precision, their movements honed through years of rigorous training. The katana's ability to deliver decisive blows in chaotic melee situations solidified its reputation as a superior weapon. Moreover, the katana's influence extended beyond the battlefield. It became a symbol of authority and prestige, with daimyo commissioning custom blades from renowned swordsmiths to signify their wealth and power. Schools of sword-making flourished across Japan, each region developing distinct styles and techniques. Prominent smiths like Masamune and Muramasa achieved legendary status. Their works prized not only for their quality but also for their artistic merit. By the end of the Kamakura period, the katana had firmly established itself as the quintessential samurai sword. Its design innovations, rooted in the practical demands of medieval warfare, combined with the cultural and philosophical ideals of the samurai class to create a weapon unlike any other. The katana was more than a tool of combat. It was a masterpiece of craftsmanship, a vessel of tradition, and a testament to the indomitable spirit of Japan's warrior elite. Would you like to proceed to Chapter 3, where we explore the Muromachi period and the katana's continued evolution amidst the chaos of the Sengoku era? Alternatively, feel free to pause your journey here or revisit any part of this chapter. The Muromachi period, 1336-1573, ushered in an era of profound transformation for Japan, marked by political fragmentation, economic shifts, and the intensification of warfare. Known as the Sengoku Jidai, or Warring States period, this tumultuous epoch saw the katana ascend to unprecedented heights of craftsmanship and militaristic utility. Amidst the chaos of competing warlords and shifting alliances, the katana evolved from a symbol of samurai identity to a practical instrument of survival and dominance. This chapter examines the katana's adaptation to the demands of large-scale warfare, the proliferation of schools of sword-making, and the weapon's integration into the broader cultural and philosophical framework of the time. The collapse of centralized authority following the fall of the Kamakura shogunate plunged Japan into a state of near-constant warfare. The Ashikaga shogunate, established in 1336, struggled to maintain control over regional daimyo, whose ambitions often led to open rebellion. This instability culminated in the Onin War of 1467-1477, a decade-long conflict that dismantled Kyoto, the imperial capital, and ignited widespread feuding across the country. The ensuing Sengoku period was defined by the relentless struggle for power, with hundreds of daimyo vying for supremacy. For the samurai, this era demanded unparalleled adaptability. Battles shifted from small-scale skirmishes to large-scale sieges and open-field clashes, requiring weapons that could perform reliably under diverse conditions. The katana, with its balance of portability, cutting power, and versatility, became the preferred sidearm for warriors navigating the complexities of Sengoku warfare. Its compact size allowed for ease of carry, while its curved blade and single-edge design ensured lethal efficiency in close-quarters combat. The katana's adoption as the primary sword of the samurai class reflected not only its practical advantages, but also its alignment with the evolving ethos of Bushido, which emphasized agility, precision, and decisiveness. The heightened demand for katanas during the Muromachi and Sengoku periods spurred the growth of specialized sword-making schools, each contributing to the refinement of techniques and the diversification of styles. These schools, often named after their founders or regions, became centers of innovation and excellence, attracting apprentices from across Japan. Prominent among them were the Bizen, Yamashiro, Soshu, and Mino traditions, each distinguished by unique characteristics in blade geometry, Hamon patterns, and overall aesthetics. The Bizen school, located in present-day Okayama Prefecture, was renowned for its robust and resilient blades, crafted to withstand the rigors of prolonged combat. Swordsmiths like Nagamitsu and Osafune Kanamitsu exemplified the school's emphasis on durability and cutting power, producing katanas with wide hamons and pronounced curvature. In contrast, the Yamashiro school, based near Kyoto, favored subtlety and refinement, creating blades with delicate temper lines and understated elegance. Renowned masters, such as Rai Kunitoshi, epitomized this approach, blending technical precision with artistic sensibility. The Soshu tradition, centered in Kamakura, represented a synthesis of earlier styles, incorporating elements from both Bizen and Yamashiro, while introducing novel innovations. Spearheaded by legends like Masamune, the Soshu school achieved unparalleled fame for its exceptional craftsmanship and distinctive hamon patterns. Often featuring intricate waves and notches, Masamune's works, characterized by their ethereal beauty and unmatched sharpness, became benchmarks of excellence, inspiring generations of swordsmiths. Similarly, the Mino school, emerging later in the Sengoku period, gained recognition for its pragmatic designs and cost-effective production methods, catering to the growing demand for functional weapons among lower-ranking samurai. The Muromachi and Sengoku periods witnessed significant advancements in sword-making technology, driven by both necessity and competition. Swordsmiths experimented with new alloys, refining the composition of tamahagane to achieve optimal hardness and flexibility. The introduction of water-powered bellows improved the efficiency of the tatara furnace, enabling larger-scale production of high-quality steel. These innovations allowed smiths to meet the escalating demand for katanas without compromising on quality. Artistically, the katana reached new heights of expression during this time. The hamon, once a purely functional feature, became a canvas for creativity, with smiths developing increasingly elaborate patterns to showcase their skill. Popular motifs included midareba, irregular waves, gonome, rounded peaks, and choji, clove-shaped patterns, each imbued with symbolic meaning. The saya, scabbard, and koshireya fittings also underwent significant embellishment, adorned with lacquer work, inlays, and carvings that reflected the owner's status and aesthetic preferences. For daimyo and high-ranking samurai, the katana was not merely a weapon but a statement of power and refinement, often commissioned as bespoke works of art. While the katana excelled in individual combat, its role in large-scale battles required careful adaptation. Armies of the Sengoku period were composed of diverse units, including foot soldiers, ashigaru, cavalry, and archers, necessitating a range of weaponry to address varying tactical scenarios. The katana complemented other arms, such as the yari spear and naginata glaive, by providing a reliable fallback for close-quarters engagements. Its relatively short length made it ideal for confined spaces, such as castle corridors or dense formations, where longer weapons might prove unwieldy. Moreover, the katana's psychological impact cannot be overstated. Its association with the samurai class lent it an aura of authority and intimidation, often demoralizing enemy forces. Stories of legendary swordsmen wielding their katanas with superhuman skill circulated widely, reinforcing the weapon's mystique. Commanders leveraged this perception, equipping elite units with finely crafted katanas to bolster morale and project strength. Beyond its battlefield applications, the katana remained deeply embedded in Japanese culture and philosophy. Zen Buddhism, which gained prominence during the Muromachi period, exerted a profound influence on samurai thought and practice, emphasizing mindfulness, discipline, and detachment. Zen teachings resonated with the principles of Bushido, encouraging warriors to cultivate inner clarity and focus. The act of drawing and wielding the katana became a meditative exercise, a means of transcending the chaos of battle and attaining a state of flow. Literature and theater of the time frequently depicted the katana as a conduit for heroism and tragedy. No plays and kabuki dramas celebrated the exploits of famous swordsmen, while epic tales like the Heike Monogatari immortalized their deeds in verse. These narratives reinforced the katana's status as a cultural icon, intertwining it with notions of honor, sacrifice, and destiny. By the end of the Sengoku period, the katana had cemented its place as the ultimate embodiment of samurai valor and ingenuity. Its evolution during the Muromachi and Sengoku eras reflects the dynamic interplay between artistry and utility, tradition and innovation. As Japan transitioned into the relative stability of the Edo period, the katana would undergo further transformations, adapting to peacetime roles while retaining its symbolic potency. Would you like to continue to Chapter 4, where we explore the katana's adaptation to the peaceful Edo period and its enduring legacy in Japanese society? Alternatively, feel free to pause your journey here, or revisit any part of this chapter. With the dawn of the Edo period, 1603–1868, Japan entered an era of unprecedented peace and stability under the Tokugawa shogunate. This marked a significant shift from the preceding centuries of incessant warfare, fundamentally altering the role and significance of the katana. No longer primarily a battlefield weapon, the katana transformed into a symbol of status and a cherished cultural artifact. This chapter explores how the katana adapted to the pacified society of the Edo period, its elevation in cultural esteem, and the ways in which it retained relevance despite the reduced need for martial engagement. The establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate brought about a rigidly enforced peace, characterized by the isolationist policies of Sakoku and a strict hierarchical social structure. Under these conditions, the immediate need for the katana as a combat tool diminished significantly. As samurai, who were previously warriors, found themselves in roles more administrative and ceremonial. This societal shift necessitated a redefinition of the katana's purpose. No longer required for daily defense or military strategy, the katana became an emblem of the samurai's social standing and personal honor. During this period, laws were enacted that regulated the wearing of swords, dictating that only samurai could carry them openly. This legal endorsement not only preserved the katana as a class marker but also elevated its status to that of a quasi-sacred object. The katana thus transitioned from a tool of war to a badge of nobility, its presence signifying the wearer's adherence to the Bushido code even in times of peace. The diminished martial role of the katana did not lead to a decline in its craftsmanship. Rather, it inspired a flourishing of artistic expression among swordsmiths. Freed from the constraints of practical battlefield requirements, artisans focused on enhancing the aesthetic qualities of the katana. The blade, saya scabbard, and kushire, fittings became canvases for intricate designs and elaborate decorations. Swordsmiths like Suishenshi Masahide and Taikei Naotane rose to prominence. Their works celebrated not just for their functionality but for their artistic value. The Haman, or temper line, became particularly expressive during the Edo period. Patterns grew more complex and varied, with some smiths specializing in creating dramatic and visually striking effects. The saya and kushire also received increased attention, often decorated with gold, silver, and lacquer, depicting scenes from nature, mythology, or literature. This artistic refinement turned the katana into a collectible item, highly valued not only by samurai but also by wealthy merchants and cultural connoisseurs. The katana's transition from a weapon to a cultural icon was further cemented through its portrayal in literature and the performing arts. Edo period playwrights and authors frequently featured the katana in their works, using it as a narrative device to explore themes of honor, loyalty, and betrayal. Kabuki and bunraku theater productions depicted samurai heroes whose destinies were intertwined with their katanas, often highlighting the weapon's mystical and symbolic powers. One notable example is the tale of the 47 Ronin, a real historical event, dramatized in numerous plays and stories. The Ronin's quest for vengeance against their lord's enemy underscores the katana as an instrument of justice and a medium through which the samurai's spirit could manifest. Such narratives not only entertained but also educated audiences on the moral and philosophical dimensions associated with the katana. Despite the lack of warfare, the practice of kenjutsu, swordsmanship, persisted as a vital component of samurai education. Dojos proliferated across Japan, teaching various styles of sword fighting that emphasized discipline, precision, and mental fortitude. These martial arts schools served to preserve the techniques and philosophies related to the katana, ensuring that the knowledge and skills associated with it were not lost to time. Furthermore, the Edo period saw the codification of many martial arts into formal systems, laying the groundwork for modern disciplines like kendo and aikido. These practices maintained the katana's relevance by transforming it into a tool for personal development and spiritual enlightenment, aligning with the Zen Buddhist influences that permeated samurai culture. The Edo period marked a profound transformation in the katana's role and perception. From a weapon designed for war, it evolved into a symbol of status, an artistic masterpiece, and a cultural touchstone. Despite the absence of battlefield utility, the katana retained its significance through its integration into the arts, literature, and martial practices, ensuring its legacy endured well beyond its original purpose. Would you like to continue to Chapter 5, where we delve into the katana's encounter with Western influences during the Meiji Restoration and its subsequent decline? Alternatively, feel free to pause your journey here, or revisit any part of this chapter. The Meiji Restoration, 1868-1912, heralded a seismic shift in Japanese society, as the nation embraced rapid modernization and opened its doors to Western influence after centuries of isolation. This period of profound transformation posed existential challenges to the katana, which had long been a cornerstone of samurai identity and Japanese culture. Faced with the encroachment of industrialization, foreign ideologies, and the abolition of the samurai class, the katana underwent a dramatic decline in practical utility. Yet, this crisis also sparked a renaissance of sorts, as efforts to preserve its legacy intersected with evolving perceptions of its cultural and national significance. This chapter explores the katana's turbulent journey through the Meiji era, and its subsequent resurgence as a symbol of Japanese heritage. The Meiji government's sweeping reforms sought to dismantle the feudal system that had governed Japan for centuries. Central to this effort was the abolition of the samurai class, whose privileges, including the exclusive right to carry swords, were revoked. The Heito Roi Edict of 1876, commonly known as the Sword Ban, prohibited the public wearing of swords, effectively stripping the katana of its status as a symbol of authority and martial prowess. For many samurai, this edict was a crushing blow, as it not only rendered their swords obsolete but also undermined their very identity. The decline of the katana was further exacerbated by the adoption of Western-style military tactics and firearms, which rendered traditional Japanese weapons impractical in modern warfare. Swords, once indispensable on the battlefield, were replaced by rifles and cannons, relegating the katana to antiquity. Many swordsmiths, unable to sustain their livelihoods in the face of dwindling demand, abandoned their craft altogether. The once thriving schools of swordmaking faded into obscurity, and the art of forging tamahagane fell into disrepair. Despite its diminished martial role, the katana found new life as a cultural relic and artistic treasure during the Meiji period. As Japan sought to define its national identity in the face of Western influence, traditional crafts and artifacts took on renewed importance as symbols of indigenous heritage. Collectors and connoisseurs began to appreciate the katana not for its utility but for its craftsmanship and historical significance. Museums and exhibitions showcased prized swords, highlighting their intricate designs, legendary provenance, and the mastery of their creators. The Meiji government itself recognized the katana's cultural value, promoting it as a national emblem. Efforts were made to preserve the techniques of sword making, albeit on a much smaller scale. The Imperial Household Commission sponsored the creation of ceremonial swords for official functions, ensuring that the katana retained a presence in formal settings. These initiatives helped to safeguard the katana's legacy, even as its practical applications waned. The katana also became a powerful symbol in literature and nationalist rhetoric during the Meiji era. Writers and intellectuals, grappling with the tension between modernization and tradition, often invoked the katana as a metaphor for Japanese resilience and cultural continuity. Novels, poems, and essays celebrated the katana as an embodiment of the samurai spirit, portraying it as a timeless artifact that transcended the vicissitudes of history. This literary revival helped to rekindle public interest in the katana, framing it as a link to Japan's glorious past. Nationalist movements further capitalized on the katana's symbolic power, using it to promote ideals of patriotism and martial virtue. The katana was romanticized as a weapon of divine origin, imbued with the essence of the Japanese people. This narrative aligned with the broader agenda of the Meiji government, which sought to instill a sense of unity and pride among its citizens. The katana thus became a rallying point for those who viewed Japan's modernization through the lens of cultural preservation. Ironically, the katana experienced a brief resurgence in military contexts during the late Meiji and early Taisho periods. As Japan expanded its empire and engaged in conflicts such as the Russo-Japanese War 1904-1905, officers in the Imperial Japanese Army began carrying ceremonial katanas as a nod to tradition. These swords, often mass-produced and lacking the craftsmanship of earlier periods, were symbolic rather than functional. Nevertheless, they underscored the enduring association between the katana and Japanese martial identity. The reintroduction of the katana into military settings was accompanied by a revival of interest in traditional martial arts. Dojos that had languished during the early Meiji period regained popularity as practitioners sought to reconnect with Japan's warrior heritage. Styles like Kendo and Iaido, which emphasized discipline and spiritual growth, attracted a new generation of adherents. These practices ensured that the katana remained relevant, albeit in a ceremonial and educational capacity. The Meiji period also marked the beginning of the katana's entry into the global consciousness. Foreign visitors to Japan, captivated by the country's unique culture, often marveled at the katana's beauty and craftsmanship. Western collectors and scholars began acquiring Japanese swords, studying their history and techniques. Exhibitions abroad introduced the katana to international audiences, fostering a fascination that would endure into the modern era. This global interest had a dual impact. On one hand, it provided economic opportunities for remaining swordsmiths, who catered to foreign markets. On the other hand, it risked reducing the katana to a mere curio, divorced from its deeper cultural and philosophical meanings. Striking a balance between commodification and preservation became a pressing concern for those committed to honoring the katana's legacy. The Meiji Restoration marked a turning point for the katana, as it navigated the tensions between tradition and modernity. Though its role as a practical weapon diminished, its symbolic and cultural significance endured. Buoyed by efforts to preserve its heritage, the katana emerged from this period not as a relic of the past, but as a dynamic symbol of Japanese identity, capable of adapting to new contexts while retaining its core essence. Would you like to continue to Chapter 6, where we explore the katana's resurgence during World War II and its post-war rehabilitation as a cultural icon? Alternatively, feel free to pause your journey here, or revisit any part of this chapter. The tumultuous events of World War II reignited the katana's symbolic flame, propelling it back into the limelight as a potent emblem of Japanese nationalism and martial spirit. This period not only resurrected the katana's role in military contexts, but also challenged its very existence in the aftermath of Japan's defeat. As the nation grappled with occupation and reconstruction, the katana faced severe restrictions. Yet paradoxically, it emerged stronger as a cultural icon, embodying resilience and national pride. This chapter delves into the katana's wartime resurgence, its post-war suppression, and its eventual rehabilitation as a revered cultural artifact. As Japan embarked on its path of militaristic expansion in the 1930s and 1940s, the katana experienced a dramatic resurgence in both symbolic and practical terms. The Japanese military, seeking to instill a sense of historical continuity and national pride, reintroduced the katana as a standard issue for officers in the Imperial Japanese Army and Navy. The swords, often referred to as gunto military swords, were mass-produced using modern techniques, differing significantly from the handcrafted masterpieces of previous eras. Despite their industrial origins, these katanas were imbued with deep symbolic meaning, representing the unbroken lineage of the samurai spirit and the divine mandate of the emperor. The katana's role extended beyond mere weaponry. It became a powerful propaganda tool. The military leaders and propagandists portrayed the katana as a sacred weapon, linking it to Japan's mythical past and the divine origins of the nation. Soldiers were encouraged to view their katanas not just as tools of war but as extensions of their own spirit, echoing the samurai ethos of loyalty, honor, and self-sacrifice. This ideological reinforcement was evident in the Kyujo no Ken swords of the emperor, Specially crafted katanas presented to high-ranking officers as symbols of imperial favor and divine protection. While the majority of Japanese soldiers during World War II were equipped with modern firearms, the katana retained its ceremonial and symbolic significance. High-ranking officers carried katanas during formal occasions, and the weapon was often featured prominently in military parades and state functions. In combat scenarios, the katana was occasionally employed in close-quarters engagements, particularly by special forces and commando units trained in traditional swordsmanship. These instances, though rare, reinforced the katana's image as a formidable weapon capable of inflicting devastating damage. However, the practical utility of the katana in modern warfare was limited. The advent of mechanized warfare, aerial bombardments, and trench combat rendered traditional swords largely obsolete. Despite this, the katana's presence on the battlefield served as a psychological weapon, instilling fear and respect among adversaries. Allied forces, encountering Japanese officers wielding katanas, often reported a sense of awe and trepidation, underscoring the weapon's enduring mystique. The conclusion of World War II brought about a radical transformation in Japan's socio-political landscape. The Allied occupation, led by General Douglas MacArthur, implemented sweeping reforms aimed at democratizing Japan and dismantling its militaristic foundations. One of the most significant measures was the prohibition of swords and other traditional weapons, enacted to prevent any resurgence of militarism. The 1946 Sword Abolishment Edict mandated the confiscation and destruction of millions of katanas, dealing a severe blow to the craft of sword-making and the preservation of historical blades. This period of suppression threatened the very survival of the katana. Many priceless swords, crafted by legendary smiths and passed down through generations, were destroyed or lost forever. Swordsmiths, deprived of their livelihoods, struggled to adapt to the new reality. The art of forging tamahagane and the intricate techniques of differential hardening teetered on the brink of extinction, as the demand for traditional swords plummeted. Despite these challenges, the katana began to experience a gradual rehabilitation in the post-war years. The occupation authorities, recognizing the cultural and historical significance of the katana, eventually relaxed the stringent regulations. By the 1950s, the production and possession of katanas were permitted under strict guidelines, primarily for ceremonial and artistic purposes. This shift allowed swordsmiths to resume their craft, albeit on a much smaller scale, and initiated efforts to revive traditional techniques. The katana's rehabilitation was further aided by its growing recognition on the international stage, as Japan sought to rebuild its national identity and foster cultural exchange. The katana emerged as a powerful ambassador of Japanese heritage. Exhibitions abroad showcased the artistry and craftsmanship of traditional katanas, captivating audiences with their beauty and historical significance. Foreign collectors and scholars played a pivotal role in preserving and promoting the katana, ensuring that its legacy endured beyond Japan's borders. One notable example of this international appreciation was the inclusion of katanas in prestigious museum collections, such as the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and the British Museum in London. These institutions not only displayed the swords but also conducted research into their metallurgical properties, artistic details, and cultural context. Such efforts helped to elevate the katana from a weapon of war to a masterpiece of human ingenuity, celebrated for its fusion of functionality and aesthetics. Within Japan, The katana underwent a process of cultural redefinition during the post-war period. No longer associated with militarism or aggression, it was recast as a symbol of peace, tradition, and artistic excellence. This transformation was facilitated by the efforts of cultural organizations, martial arts practitioners, and artisans who sought to preserve the katana's legacy while distancing it from its wartime connotations. Martial arts schools, Karyu, which had long emphasized the spiritual and philosophical dimensions of swordsmanship, played a crucial role in this rehabilitation. Styles like Iaido, the art of drawing the sword, and Kendo, modern Japanese fencing, gained popularity as vehicles for personal development and cultural preservation. Practitioners viewed the katana not as a tool of violence, but as a means of cultivating discipline, focus, and inner harmony. This reinterpretation aligned with Japan's post-war ethos of pacifism and self-reflection, allowing the katana to reclaim its place in society without evoking the specter of conflict. The katana also found new life in popular culture, becoming a recurring motif in literature, film, and theater. Works such as Mishima Yukio's Runaway Horses and Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai explored the katana's enduring allure, presenting it as a symbol of honor, sacrifice, and resilience. These narratives resonated deeply with both domestic and international audiences, reinforcing the katana's status as an iconic representation of Japanese culture. Recognizing the katana's importance as a cultural treasure, the Japanese government took steps to support its preservation and revival. In 1958, the Ministry of Education designated sword-making as an important, intangible cultural property, providing funding and resources to master swordsmiths. This designation ensured that traditional techniques were passed down to future generations, safeguarding the katana's craftsmanship against the threat of extinction. Prominent swordsmiths like Miyairi Norihiro and Amata Akitsugu emerged during this period, reviving the art of hand-forging tamahagane and creating blades that rivaled those of earlier eras. Their works were celebrated not only for their technical mastery but also for their ability to capture the spirit of Japan's warrior past. These artisans became living repositories of knowledge, teaching apprentices and participating in cultural events to educate the public about the katana's history and significance. The post-war rehabilitation of the katana can be seen as a microcosm of Japan's broader recovery and reimagining. Just as the nation rebuilt itself after the devastation of World War II, so too did the katana rise from the ashes of suppression to reclaim its place as a cherished cultural icon. Its journey from a banned relic of militarism to a revered symbol of peace and tradition underscores the resilience of Japanese culture and its ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Today, the katana stands as a testament to Japan's rich history and enduring spirit. It is celebrated not for its capacity to inflict harm but for its embodiment of artistry, philosophy, and national pride. Whether displayed in museums, wielded in martial arts dojos, or admired in films and literature, the katana continues to captivate hearts and minds around the world. The katana's resurgence during and after World War II highlights its remarkable ability to transcend its original purpose and evolve with the times. From its wartime symbolism to its post-war rehabilitation, the katana has proven itself to be more than just a weapon. It is a living artifact of Japan's cultural heritage. By embracing its legacy while redefining its meaning, Japan has ensured that the katana will endure as a timeless icon of resilience and artistry. The katana's journey through history has been one of adaptation and reinvention, and its role in modern martial arts and contemporary Japanese society is no exception. As Japan transitioned into the 21st century, the katana found new life as a cornerstone of martial arts practice, a symbol of cultural identity, and a source of inspiration for global audiences. This chapter examines how the katana continues to shape martial disciplines, influence popular culture, and serve as a bridge between Japan's storied past and its dynamic present. In the post-war era, the katana became deeply intertwined with the practice of traditional Japanese martial arts, particularly Aikido and Kendo. These disciplines, which emphasize the spiritual and philosophical dimensions of swordsmanship, have played a vital role in preserving the katana's legacy while adapting it to modern contexts. For practitioners, the katana is not merely a weapon but a tool for self-discovery, discipline, and personal growth. Aikido, often described as the way of harmonious living, focuses on the precise and controlled drawing of the katana from its scabbard, saya, and executing a series of predetermined movements, waza. Unlike combat-oriented martial arts, Amesho prioritizes mindfulness, balance, and fluidity, reflecting Zen Buddhist principles of inner peace and detachment. Practitioners train with replica swords or unsharpened blades, Aotu, to ensure safety while maintaining the authenticity of the practice. The katana's design is integral to Aikido, as its curvature and weight distribution facilitates smooth, efficient movements. Each technique requires meticulous attention to detail, from the initial grip kame to the final resheathing noto. Through repetitive practice, students cultivate patience, focus, and an acute awareness of their surroundings. Aikido serves as a meditative exercise, allowing practitioners to transcend the physical act of wielding a sword and connect with its deeper symbolic meaning. Kendo, derived from traditional kenjutsu, swordsmanship, represents the evolution of the katana into a sportive discipline, practiced with bamboo swords, shinai, and protective armor, bogo. Kendo emphasizes speed, precision, and strategy, while modern kendo bears little resemblance to battlefield swordplay. It retains the katana's core principles of discipline, respect, and perseverance. Kendo tournaments, both national and international, attract thousands of participants and spectators, showcasing the enduring appeal of the katana-inspired art. Matches are governed by strict rules that reward clean strikes to specific target areas, such as the head, men, wrists, kote, and torso. Beyond competition, Kendo fosters camaraderie and mutual respect among practitioners, embodying the spirit of Bushido. Even in peacetime, beyond Aikido and Kendo, the katana's influence extends to other martial arts and cultural practices. Styles like Naita and Ichiryu, developed by the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, incorporate dual-wielding techniques using both a katana and a shorter companion sword, wakizashi. Similarly, temeshigiri, the practice of test cutting with a live blade, allows practitioners to hone their cutting skills on rolled tatami mats or bamboo targets, demonstrating the katana's functional prowess in a controlled environment. These disciplines collectively preserve the katana's martial heritage, while adapting it to contemporary needs. They serve as a testament to the enduring relevance of the katana, bridging the gap between ancient traditions and modern sensibilities. The katana's allure transcends the confines of martial arts, permeating popular culture worldwide. From films and video games to literature and fashion, The katana has become a ubiquitous symbol of Japanese culture, captivating audiences with its elegance, mystique, and historical significance. Few cultural artifacts have captured the imagination of filmmakers as profoundly as the katana. Directors like Akira Kurosawa and Takeshi Kitano have immortalized the katana in iconic films such as Seven Samurai 1954 and Zatoichi 2003, portraying it as a weapon of unparalleled craftsmanship and lethal efficiency. These works celebrate the katana's aesthetic beauty and its embodiment of samurai virtues, resonating with audiences across generations. Hollywood has also embraced the katana, featuring it prominently in blockbusters like Kill Bill 2003, 2004, and The Last Samurai 2003. In these films, the katana serves as a narrative device, symbolizing honor, vengeance, and redemption. Its inclusion underscores the universal appeal of the katana, transcending cultural boundaries and appealing to diverse audiences. The katana's presence in video games and anime further amplifies its global reach. Franchises like Samurai Warriors, Soul Calibur, and Ghost of Tsushima feature katanas as central elements, allowing players to experience the thrill of wielding these legendary blades in virtual combat. Similarly, anime series such as Rurouni Kenshin and Bleach depict characters who wield katanas with supernatural abilities, blending historical realism with fantastical storytelling. These media representations not only entertain but also educate, introducing viewers to the katana's rich history and cultural significance. By embedding the katana in fictional narratives, creators ensure that its legacy remains vibrant and accessible to future generations. The katana's influence extends beyond entertainment, inspiring trends in fashion and design. High-end brands and designers frequently draw upon the katana's sleek lines and minimalist aesthetic, incorporating its motifs into clothing, accessories, and home decor. Limited edition collaborations between Japanese swordsmiths and luxury brands have produced exquisite pieces that celebrate the katana's craftsmanship and artistry. This fusion of tradition and modernity highlights the katana's versatility, proving that its appeal is not confined to historical or martial contexts. Whether adorning a runway or displayed in a gallery, the katana continues to captivate with its timeless elegance. In an increasingly interconnected world, the katana serves as a cultural ambassador for Japan, fostering cross-cultural exchange and understanding. International exhibitions, workshops, and demonstrations provide opportunities for people around the globe to engage with the katana's history and craftsmanship firsthand. These initiatives not only promote Japanese culture but also encourage dialogue about the values of discipline, respect, and resilience that the katana embodies. The katana's role as a cultural ambassador is particularly evident in diplomatic settings. Gifts of ornate katanas or replicas are often exchanged between nations as symbols of goodwill and mutual respect. Such gestures underscore the katana's status as a treasured artifact, capable of bridging divides and forging connections. Despite its enduring popularity, the katana faces challenges in the modern era. The dwindling number of master swordsmiths and the high cost of producing hand-forged blades threaten the survival of traditional tech. Additionally, The proliferation of mass-produced replicas and imitations risks diluting the katana's cultural significance, reducing it to a mere commodity. However, these challenges also present opportunities for innovation and preservation. Advances in technology, such as 3D printing and metallurgical analysis, offer new avenues for studying and replicating the katana's intricate details. Educational programs and apprenticeships ensure that the knowledge and skills of master swordsmiths are passed down to future generations. Furthermore, increased awareness and appreciation of the katana's cultural value can drive demand for authentic, handcrafted blades, supporting artisans and preserving the craft. The katana's place in modern martial arts and contemporary Japanese society reflects its remarkable ability to adapt and endure. From its role as a tool for personal development in Aikido and Kendo, to its status as a global icon in popular culture, the katana continues to inspire and captivate. Its journey from a battlefield weapon to a symbol of peace, artistry, and cultural pride underscores the resilience of Japanese heritage and its capacity to resonate with people worldwide. The katana's enduring allure lies not only in its historical significance and cultural symbolism but also in the extraordinary craftsmanship that defines its creation. Each blade is a masterpiece born from centuries of tradition, technical expertise, and spiritual devotion. This chapter delves into the intricate process of katana making, exploring the metallurgical science behind tamahagane. The meticulous forging techniques employed by master swordsmiths, and the profound philosophical and ritualistic dimensions that elevate the craft to an art form. At the heart of every katana lies tamahagane, a high-carbon steel renowned for its exceptional hardness and flexibility. The production of tamahagane is a labor-intensive process steeped in tradition, requiring precise control over raw materials and smelting conditions. This steel is forged from iron sand satatsu, a naturally occurring mineral rich in iron oxide and charcoal, which serves as both fuel and carbon source. The smelting process takes place in a traditional Japanese bloomery furnace known as a tata, constructed from clay and fueled by pine charcoal. The tata operates continuously for several days, reaching temperatures of up to 1500 degrees. During this time, the iron sand and charcoal are layered alternately within the furnace, allowing the carbon to permeate the molten iron and create varying grades of steel. The result is a heterogeneous mass of metal, ranging from low-carbon steel, soft and flexible, to high-carbon steel, hard and brittle. Once the smelting is complete, the cooled bloom is broken apart, and the smith carefully selects pieces of tamahagane based on their carbon content and impurity levels. This selection process is critical, as it determines the final properties of the blade. High-carbon steel will form the cutting edge, while lower-carbon steel will comprise the core and spine, ensuring a balance of sharpness and resilience. The forging of a katana is a painstaking process that demands unparalleled skill and patience. Master swordsmiths, often referred to as tosho, spend years honing their craft, learning the secrets of their trade through rigorous apprenticeships. The process begins with the folding and hammering of tamahagane, a technique designed to remove impurities and achieve a uniform composition. The selected pieces of tamahagane are heated in a forge until they reach a malleable state, then hammered flat and folded upon themselves. This folding process is repeated dozens of times, with each iteration refining the steel's structure and distributing carbon evenly throughout the material. The number of folds varies depending on the desired characteristics of the blade, but typically ranges between 10 and 20. Each fold doubles the number of layers, creating a complex internal pattern visible in the finished blade's grain hada. The folding not only purifies the steel but also imbues it with strength and flexibility. A well-folded blade exhibits a harmonious balance of toughness and sharpness, capable of withstanding the rigors of combat without shattering or dulling easily. To achieve the katana's signature combination of hardness and suppleness, swordsmiths employ composite construction, layering different types of steel to optimize performance. The core shinogi is typically made from softer, low-carbon steel, providing flexibility and shock absorption. The outer layers, including the cutting-edge hada, are crafted from harder, high-carbon steel, ensuring superior cutting ability. This composite structure is achieved through a process called sanmai kite, or three-piece forging. The softer core is encased within 2 layers of harder steel, forming a sandwich-like arrangement. Once assembled, the billet is heated and hammered into shape, gradually transforming the raw materials into the nascent form of a katana. Though one of the most distinctive features of the katana is the haman, or temper line, which runs along the blade's edge. This wavy pattern is the result of differential hardening, a technique unique to Japanese swordmaking that enhances both the blade's functionality and aesthetic appeal. The process begins with the application of a clay mixture to the blade. A thicker layer of clay is applied to the spine, while a thinner layer coats the edge. When the blade is quenched in water, the disparity in cooling rates creates a gradient of hardness. The edge cools rapidly, becoming extremely hard and sharp, while the spine cools more slowly, retaining flexibility. This differential hardening not only improves the blade's cutting power, but also prevents it from breaking under stress. The haman itself is a testament to the swordsmith's artistry, with each pattern reflecting the individual style and skill of its creator. Common motifs include midariba, irregular waves, gonomi, rounded peaks, and choji, clove-shaped patterns. These designs are highly prized by collectors and connoisseurs, who view them as signatures of the smith's mastery. Once the forging is complete, the katana undergoes a meticulous polishing process that brings out its full potential. This step is entrusted to specialized artisans known as togishi, or polishers, whose expertise ensures that the blade's geometry, sharpness, and aesthetic qualities are perfectly realized. Polishing involves the use of progressively finer stones, each designed to refine specific aspects of the blade. Coarse stones remove excess material and establish the basic shape, while medium grit stones smooth the surface and define the edges. Fine stones, often imported from regions like Kyoto, impart a mirror-like finish that highlights the blade's grain and haman. The final stage requires the use of ultra-fine stones to achieve razor sharpness, ensuring that the katana can slice through targets with minimal resistance. The polishing process is as much about preserving the blade's integrity as it is about enhancing its appearance. A poorly polished katana risks losing its structural balance or damaging its delicate features, underscoring the importance of precision and care. Beyond its technical complexity, The art of katana making is deeply intertwined with spiritual and philosophical traditions. Shinto beliefs play a central role in the forging process, with rituals performed at every stage to invoke the blessings of kami spirits and ensure the purity of the materials. The tatara site itself is considered sacred ground, and offerings of sake, rice, and salt are made to honor the divine forces believed to guide the creation of the blade. Buddhist principles, particularly those of Zen Buddhism, also influence the mindset of the swordsmith. Meditation and mindfulness are integral to the forging process, enabling the smith to achieve a state of flow and focus. Each strike of the hammer is deliberate and purposeful, embodying the harmony between human effort and natural forces. The act of crafting a katana is seen as a meditative practice, a means of transcending the ego and connecting with the essence of existence. For the samurai who wielded these blades, the katana was more than a weapon. It was a reflection of their inner self. The philosophy of Bushido emphasized virtues such as loyalty, courage, and self-discipline, all of which were mirrored in the katana's design and function. Drawing and wielding the katana became a meditative exercise, a way to cultivate clarity and resolve in the face of adversity. Throughout history, certain swordsmiths have achieved legendary status for their contributions to the art of katana making. Names like Masamune, Muramasa, and Go Yoshihiro are synonymous with excellence, their works celebrated for their unparalleled quality and artistic merit. These masters not only advanced the technical aspects of sword making but also elevated it to a form of cultural expression, leaving an indelible mark on Japan's heritage. Today, modern swordsmiths continue this legacy, preserving traditional techniques while adapting to contemporary challenges. Organizations like the Japanese Swordsmith Association support the preservation of these skills, ensuring that future generations can experience the wonder of hand-forged katanas. Workshops, exhibitions, and educational programs provide opportunities for enthusiasts to learn about the intricacies of katana making, fostering appreciation for this timeless craft. The katana is far more than a weapon. It is a symphony of science, art, and spirit. Its creation involves a delicate interplay of metallurgical precision, artistic vision, and spiritual devotion, each element contributing to the blade's ultimate perfection. From the fiery depths of the tatara to the reflective gleam of a polished hamon, every step in the process reflects the dedication and ingenuity of its creators. The katana occupies a unique place not only in Japanese history and martial arts, but also in the realm of mythology, folklore, and religious practices. Revered as more than a mere weapon, the katana is often depicted as an object imbued with divine power, spiritual significance, and mystical qualities. This chapter delves into the katana's role in Japanese mythology, its portrayal in folklore, and its integration into Shinto and Buddhist traditions, revealing how these narratives have shaped its cultural identity and enduring legacy. From ancient times, swords have held a sacred position in Japanese mythology, often associated with gods, heroes, and legendary figures. The katana, as the pinnacle of sword-making artistry, inherits this divine lineage, embodying the spirit of creation, protection, and justice. Central to this mythological framework is the tale of the three sacred treasures, Sanshu no Jungi, which includes the Kusanagi no Tsurugi, a mythical sword said to represent valor and strength. According to Japanese mythology, the Kusanagi no Tsurugi, grass-cutting sword, was discovered by the storm god Suzumu during his battle against the eight-headed serpent Yamata no Orochi. Hidden within the tail of the beast, the sword was later presented to the sun goddess Amaterasu, symbolizing her authority and divine protection. This legendary blade is believed to reside in the Atsuta Shrine in Nagoya, though its true form remains shrouded in mystery. The story of the Kusanagi no Tsurugi underscores the katana's association with divine intervention and heroism. As a sacred relic, it serves as a bridge between the mortal and spiritual realms, embodying the virtues of courage, purity, and righteousness. This mythological foundation elevates the katana beyond its physical form, casting it as a vessel of cosmic power and eternal wisdom. Beyond the Kusanagi no Tsurugi, numerous other swords feature prominently in Japanese mythology. For instance, the Emi no Murakumo no Tsurugi, Sword of the Gathering Clouds of Heaven, another name for the Kusanagi, is said to possess the ability to control the elements and protect its wielder from harm. Similarly, the Futsu no Mushinami no Tsurugi, a sword wielded by the deity Takamikazuchi, is revered for its role in subduing rebellious spirits and establishing order. These mythical swords are not merely tools of destruction but instruments of harmony, reflecting the dual nature of the katana as both a weapon and a symbol of peace. Their stories resonate deeply with the Japanese worldview, where balance and equilibrium are paramount. Japanese folklore abounds with tales of samurai, ronin, and wandering swordsmen whose exploits are inseparable from their katanas. These narratives often portray the katana as a sentient entity, capable of influencing the fate of its wielder and shaping the course of destiny. Such stories highlight the katana's role as a catalyst for transformation, challenging protagonists to confront their inner demons and achieve enlightenment. One of the most celebrated figures in Japanese folklore is Miyamoto Musashi, a legendary swordsman whose life has become the stuff of legend. Renowned for his undefeated record in duels and his mastery of the two-sword style Naiten Ichi-Ryu, Musashi is often depicted wielding a katana imbued with supernatural qualities. His encounters with rival swordsmen, such as Saki Kojiro, are recounted with an air of mysticism, emphasizing the katana's role as a conduit for divine inspiration. Musashi's philosophy, encapsulated in his seminal work The Book of Five Rings, reflects the profound connection between the katana and the warrior's spirit. He viewed the katana not merely as a tool of combat, but as a mirror reflecting the practitioner's character and resolve. This perspective underscores the katana's symbolic importance, transcending its practical utility. Folklore also explores the darker aspects of the katana, portraying it as a harbinger of doom or a repository of malevolent energy. One infamous example is the legend of Muramasa blades, crafted by the eponymous swordsmith. According to popular belief, Muramasa's katanas were cursed, driving their owners to madness and bloodshed. Stories describe warriors who, upon drawing a Muramasa blade, were compelled to slay indiscriminately, unable to resist its insatiable thirst for violence. While these tales may stem from superstition, they reflect the ambivalence surrounding the katana's power. As a symbol of both creation and destruction, the katana embodies the duality inherent in human nature, a theme that resonates throughout Japanese folklore. Religious practices in Japan have long embraced the katana as a sacred object, incorporating it into rituals, ceremonies, and philosophical teachings. Both Shinto and Buddhism attribute spiritual significance to the katana, viewing it as a manifestation of divine will and a means of achieving enlightenment. In Shintoism, the katana is regarded as a conduit for the kami, or spirits, believed to inhabit natural phenomena and ancestral beings. The forging process itself is steeped in Shinto rituals, with offerings made to ensure the purity of the materials and the success of the smith's endeavors. The tatad, or furnace, where tamahagane is smelted, is treated as a sacred site, and the act of crafting a katana is seen as a collaboration between human ingenuity and divine guidance. Once completed, the katana is often consecrated through purification rites, involving prayers, incantations, and the application of sacred symbols. These rituals imbue the blade with spiritual energy, transforming it into a talisman of protection and prosperity. Samurai frequently carried their katanas into battle, believing that they were blessed by the kami, granting them strength and invincibility. Buddhism, particularly Zen Buddhism, has profoundly influenced the perception of the katana among samurai and martial artists. Zen teachings emphasize mindfulness, detachment, and the pursuit of enlightenment, principles that align closely with the practice of swordsmanship. Drawing and wielding the katana becomes a meditative exercise, allowing practitioners to transcend ego and achieve a state of flow. The katana's sharpness and precision serve as metaphors for the clarity and focus required in Zen practice. Just as a blade must be honed to perfection, so too must the mind be refined through discipline and self-reflection. This philosophical alignment has fostered a deep bond between the katana and Buddhist traditions, reinforcing its status as a spiritual artifact. In addition to its martial applications, the katana plays a vital role in ceremonial contexts. During formal occasions, such as weddings, funerals, and religious festivals, katanas are displayed as symbols of honor, loyalty, and religious festivals. Katanas are displayed as symbols of honor, loyalty, and continuity. Samurai families often pass down ancestral blades as heirlooms, imbuing them with familial pride and historical significance. Even today, katanas are used in traditional Japanese ceremonies, including the seppuku ritual suicide performed by samurai to restore their honor. While such practices are largely obsolete, the katana remains a potent symbol of sacrifice and self-discipline, echoing the values of Bushido. The katana's presence in Japanese mythology, folklore, and religious practices reveals its multifaceted identity as a divine instrument, a narrative device, and a spiritual emblem. Whether wielded by gods, heroes, or ordinary mortals, the katana transcends its material form to embody the ideals of courage, balance, and transcendence. Its stories continue to captivate audiences, bridging the gap between ancient traditions and modern sensibilities. The katana's journey from a revered Japanese artifact to a globally recognized icon is a testament to its universal appeal. Its combination of lethal functionality, exquisite craftsmanship, and deep cultural symbolism has captured the imagination of people worldwide, transcending linguistic, cultural, and geographical boundaries. This chapter delves into the global fascination with the katana, exploring how it has influenced international art, media, martial arts, and even modern industries. From Hollywood blockbusters to cutting-edge technology, The katana continues to inspire and resonate across diverse contexts. Few artifacts have achieved the cinematic prominence of the katana. Its sleek design, storied history, and association with samurai warriors make it an irresistible subject for filmmakers, writers, and game designers. The katana's presence in global media has played a pivotal role in shaping perceptions of Japanese culture and elevating its status as a universal symbol of power and artistry. The katana first gained widespread international attention through Japanese cinema, particularly the works of Akira Kurosawa and Masaki Kobayashi. Films like Seven Samurai (1954) and Harakiri (1962) introduced Western audiences to the elegance and lethality of the katana, portraying it as a weapon of unmatched precision and honor. These films laid the groundwork for the katana's integration into Western storytelling, inspiring directors to incorporate it into their own narratives. In Hollywood, the katana has become a staple of action cinema, often wielded by protagonists who embody strength, discipline, and moral complexity. Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill series 2003-2004 is a prime example, with Uma Thurman's character wielding a custom-made Hattori Hanzo katana to exact vengeance. The film's choreography, inspired by classic samurai epics, celebrates the katana's grace and destructive potential, cementing its place in pop culture lexicon. Similarly, The Last Samurai 2003, starring Tom Cruise, explores themes of cultural exchange and personal transformation through the lens of samurai warfare. The katana serves as a central motif, symbolizing the protagonist's journey from ignorance to enlightenment. These portrayals not only entertain but also educate, introducing global audiences to the philosophical and historical dimensions of the katana. The rise of video games has further amplified the katana's global reach. Franchises like Soul Calibur, Samurai Warriors, and Ghost of Tsushima feature katanas as central elements, allowing players to experience the thrill of wielding these legendary blades in virtual combat. These games blend historical accuracy with fantastical storytelling, creating immersive worlds where the katana reigns supreme. For instance, Ghost of Tsushima 2020 immerses players in feudal Japan, tasking them with mastering the art of kenjutsu, while navigating the moral complexities of samurai life. The game's meticulous attention to detail, from the katana's weight distribution to the sound of steel slicing through air, enhances its authenticity and emotional impact. Such experiences foster a deeper appreciation for the katana's craftsmanship and cultural significance. Anime and manga have also contributed significantly to the katana's global popularity. Series like Rurouni Kenshin, Bleach, and Demon Slayer feature characters who wield katanas with supernatural abilities, blending historical realism with fantastical elements. These narratives resonate with audiences of all ages, highlighting the katana's versatility as both a practical weapon and a narrative device. The katana's influence extends beyond entertainment, shaping the practice of martial arts worldwide, as disciplines like Aikido, Kendo, and Kenjutsu gain international recognition. The katana has become a focal point for cross-cultural exchange and mutual respect. Kendo and Aikido, once exclusive to Japan, now boast millions of practitioners across the globe. International federations, such as the International Kendo Federation, FIK, and All Japan Kendo Federation organize tournaments and workshops that bring together enthusiasts from diverse backgrounds. Participants train with replica swords or unsharpened blades. Iaido, learning techniques that emphasize discipline, focus, and mindfulness. These practices serve as gateways to Japanese culture, fostering appreciation for the katana's historical and philosophical dimensions. For many practitioners, the katana represents more than a tool for combat. It embodies values of perseverance, respect, and self-improvement. This universal appeal underscores the katana's ability to transcend cultural barriers and unite people through shared ideals. The katana's influence has also inspired the development of hybrid martial arts styles that blend traditional Japanese techniques with contemporary approaches. For example, some Western swordsmanship schools incorporate elements of kenjutsu into their curricula, offering students a chance to explore the katana's unique properties. Similarly, stage combat choreographers draw upon katana techniques to create dynamic fight sequences for theater and film. These adaptations demonstrate the katana's adaptability, proving that its principles can be applied to various contexts without losing their essence. By embracing innovation while honoring tradition, these practices ensure that the katana remains relevant in an ever-evolving world. Beyond media and martial arts, the katana has inspired advancements in technology, design, and manufacturing. Its fusion of form and function serves as a model for innovation, influencing fields as diverse as robotics, engineering, and fashion. Engineers and scientists often study the katana's metallurgical properties to develop advanced materials and tools. The differential hardening technique, which creates a balance of hardness and flexibility, has applications in industries ranging from aerospace to automotive manufacturing. Researchers use computer simulations and 3D printing to replicate the katana's intricate grain patterns, paving the way for breakthroughs in material science. Robotics designers, to draw inspiration from the katana's precision and efficiency. Autonomous systems equipped with katana-like mechanisms are being developed for tasks requiring speed and accuracy, such as surgical procedures and industrial assembly lines. These innovations highlight the katana's enduring relevance, bridging the gap between ancient craftsmanship and modern ingenuity. The katana's minimalist aesthetic and ergonomic design have made it a muse for fashion designers and architects. High-end brands frequently incorporate katana-inspired motifs into clothing, accessories, and home decor, celebrating its sleek lines and timeless elegance. Collaborations between Japanese swordsmiths and luxury labels have resulted in limited edition pieces that marry traditional craftsmanship with contemporary flair. Architectural projects also reflect the katana's influence, with structures designed to evoke its fluid curves and balanced proportions. These designs underscore the katana's versatility, proving that its appeal extends far beyond its original purpose. The katana's allure has spawned a vibrant community of collectors, historians, and enthusiasts dedicated to preserving its legacy. Museums, galleries, and private collections around the world house prized katanas, showcasing their artistry and historical significance. Organizations like the Token Kai, Japanese Sword Society, and the Nihon Bijutsu Token Hozen Kyokai, NBTHK, play a crucial role in authenticating, restoring, and exhibiting these treasures. International exhibitions provide opportunities for people to engage with the katana's rich heritage firsthand. Events like the annual Tokyo National Museum's sword exhibition attract thousands of visitors, offering insights into the katana's evolution and cultural impact. These initiatives not only promote Japanese culture but also encourage dialogue about the values of craftsmanship, resilience, and artistic expression. The katana's global fascination reflects its remarkable ability to transcend time and space, resonating with audiences across generations and continents. Whether featured in films, practiced in martial arts dojos, or celebrated in museums, the katana continues to captivate hearts and minds. Its journey from a battlefield weapon to a universal symbol of artistry and power underscores the enduring appeal of Japanese heritage and its capacity to inspire humanity. The art of traditional katana making, a centuries-old craft steeped in history and spirituality, faces significant challenges in the modern era. As Japan continues to evolve into a technologically advanced society, the preservation of this intricate and labor-intensive tradition has become increasingly precarious. This chapter examines the obstacles confronting master swordsmiths and artisans, as well as the efforts being made to ensure that the knowledge, techniques, and cultural significance of katana making endure for future generations. One of the most pressing challenges to the preservation of traditional katana making is the dwindling number of skilled artisans. The rigorous training required to become a master swordsmith often spans decades, demanding unwavering dedication, physical endurance, and an intimate understanding of metallurgy, forging, and polishing techniques. Few individuals are willing or able to commit to such a demanding path in today's fast-paced world. Historically, the transmission of katana-making skills occurred through apprenticeships within family lineages or under renowned masters. However, the disruption caused by events like the Meiji Restoration and World War II led to the loss of countless traditions and techniques. Today, only a small fraction of Japan's population possesses the expertise needed to forge authentic katanas. According to estimates, there are fewer than 300 licensed swordsmiths in Japan, many of whom are aging with few young successors stepping forward to carry the torch. This shortage of artisans is compounded by stringent regulations imposed by the Japanese government to maintain quality standards and prevent the proliferation of counterfeit blades. All swordsmiths must obtain certification from the Agency for Cultural Affairs. While these measures protect the integrity of the craft, they also create barriers for aspiring smiths, who must invest years mastering their trade before earning official recognition. The combination of regulatory hurdles and societal shifts away from manual craftsmanship threatens the continuity of this ancient tradition. Another formidable challenge facing traditional katana makers is the economic viability of their craft. Producing a single high-quality katana can take months, involving meticulous processes such as smelting tamahagane, folding steel, differential hardening, and hand polishing. The time, effort, and materials required make authentic katanas prohibitively expensive for most consumers, with prices often exceeding tens of thousands of dollars. In contrast, mass-produced replicas and imitations flood the global market at a fraction of the cost. These cheaper alternatives, while lacking the craftsmanship and historical authenticity of traditional blades, cater to casual enthusiasts and collectors seeking affordability over quality. The prevalence of imitation katanas undermines demand for genuine pieces, further straining the livelihoods of master swordsmiths. Moreover, the limited pool of dedicated patrons, primarily museums, wealthy collectors, and martial arts practitioners, cannot sustain the industry on its own. Without broader public interest and financial support, many artisans struggle to cover the costs of production, let alone pass on their knowledge to apprentices. This economic pressure risks reducing katana making to a niche pursuit, overshadowed by more commercially viable ventures. Advances in technology present both opportunities and threats to the preservation of traditional katana making. On one hand, innovations such as computer-aided design, CAD, metallurgical analysis, and precision machinery offer tools to study and replicate aspects of the craft. Researchers and artisans can use these technologies to analyze the composition of historic blades, experiment with new alloys, and document techniques for posterity. On the other hand, reliance on modern methods risks diluting the essence of traditional katana making. The spiritual and philosophical dimensions of the craft, rooted in Shinto rituals, Zen principles, and generational wisdom, are difficult to quantify or mechanize. Replacing hands-on processes with automated systems may increase efficiency but sacrifices the human touch and deep connection to heritage that define the katana's soul. Balancing innovation with tradition poses a delicate challenge. While embracing technology can aid preservation efforts, it must be done thoughtfully to avoid compromising the authenticity and cultural significance of the katana. Striking this balance requires collaboration between artisans, scientists, and policymakers to develop sustainable solutions that honor the past while adapting to the present. Despite these challenges, numerous initiatives have emerged to safeguard the legacy of traditional katana making. Governments, cultural organizations, educational institutions, and private entities are working together to address the threats facing this invaluable heritage. The Japanese government plays a pivotal role in preserving traditional crafts through legislation and funding programs. In 1958, the Ministry of Education designated sword making as an important intangible cultural property, providing financial assistance to master swordsmiths and encouraging the transmission of their skills. This designation ensures that katana making receives institutional recognition and protection, elevating its status as a national treasure. Additionally, strict export controls regulate the sale and distribution of authentic katanas abroad. These measures aim to prevent the loss of historically significant blades and ensure that they remain accessible to the Japanese public. By prioritizing domestic preservation, the government reinforces the katana's role as a cornerstone of Japanese identity. To cultivate the next generation of artisans, specialized schools and workshops have been established to teach the fundamentals of katana making. Institutions like the Japanese Sword Museum in Tokyo offer courses and demonstrations, introducing students to the history, techniques, and cultural context of the craft. These programs provide aspiring swordsmiths with the foundational knowledge needed to pursue advanced training under certified masters. Apprenticeship programs remain essential for transmitting hands-on skills. Organizations such as the Nihon Bijutsu Token Hozan Kyokai (NBDHK) facilitate mentorship opportunities, pairing novices with experienced artisans. Through immersive learning experiences, apprentices gain practical expertise while developing a profound appreciation for the spiritual and artistic dimensions of katana making. Global interest in the katana has spurred international collaborations aimed at preserving and promoting the craft. Museums, Galleries and cultural institutions worldwide host exhibitions and symposia that celebrate the katana's artistry and historical significance. Events like the annual International Japanese Sword Convention bring together experts, collectors, and enthusiasts to share knowledge and foster cross-cultural dialogue. Digital platforms also play a crucial role in raising awareness. Online archives, documentaries, and virtual tours provide unprecedented access to information about katana making, reaching audiences beyond Japan's borders. Social media campaigns highlight the stories of master swordsmiths, showcasing their work and inspiring younger generations to engage with the tradition. Efforts to integrate katana making into UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List further underscore its global importance. Achieving this designation would not only enhance visibility but also secure additional resources for preservation initiatives. Such recognition would affirm the katana's status as a universal symbol of human creativity and resilience. At the grassroots level, local communities and martial arts organizations contribute significantly to the preservation of katana making. Dojos practicing Iaido, Kendo, and Kenjutsu emphasize the cultural and philosophical significance of the katana, fostering appreciation among practitioners. Annual festivals and ceremonies often feature displays of traditional blades, educating attendees about their craftsmanship and symbolism. Private collectors and connoisseurs also play a vital role by commissioning custom katanas and supporting artisanal workshops. Their patronage provides much-needed revenue streams for master swordsmiths, enabling them to continue their work despite economic pressures. Furthermore, collaborative projects between collectors and artisans help preserve rare techniques and styles, ensuring their survival for future generations. The preservation of traditional katana making stands at a crossroads, balancing the weight of history against the demands of modernity. While economic, social, and technological challenges threaten the craft's continuity, concerted efforts by governments, organizations, and individuals offer hope for its survival. By valuing the katana not merely as a weapon but as a living testament to Japanese culture, humanity can ensure that this timeless art form endures. The katana, an emblem of Japanese heritage and craftsmanship, transcends its origins as a weapon to become a universal symbol of artistry, philosophy, and resilience. Its journey through history, from the battlefields of feudal Japan to the global stage of modern culture, reveals a remarkable ability to adapt, inspire, and endure. This final chapter reflects on the katana's enduring legacy, exploring how its timeless resonance continues to bridge cultures, generations, and disciplines, ensuring its place as one of humanity's most cherished artifacts. At its core, the katana represents the pinnacle of human ingenuity, a harmonious fusion of science, art, and spirituality. The meticulous process of forging tamahagane, folding steel, and applying differential hardening exemplifies humanity's capacity to transform raw materials into objects of unparalleled beauty and functionality. Each blade is a testament to the skill, patience, and vision of its creator, embodying centuries of accumulated knowledge passed down through generations. This blend of technical mastery and artistic expression has universal appeal, resonating with people regardless of cultural background. Whether admired for its metallurgical complexity, its elegant curvature, or its philosophical depth. The katana speaks to the shared human desire to create something greater than oneself. In this sense, the katana is not merely a relic of Japanese history, but a celebration of what it means to be human. For Japan, the katana serves as a tangible link to its storied past, preserving the values and traditions of the samurai class even as society evolves. Its association with Bushido, the way of the warrior, encapsulates virtues such as loyalty, honor, courage, and self-discipline, which remain relevant in contemporary life. By upholding these ideals, the katana acts as a moral compass, reminding individuals of the importance of integrity and perseverance in the face of adversity. Beyond Japan, the katana fosters cross-cultural understanding by introducing global audiences to the richness of Japanese culture. Through films, literature, martial arts, and museum exhibitions, the katana invites people to explore themes of balance, harmony, and transcendence that resonate across borders. Its presence in international contexts underscores the interconnectedness of human experience, proving that certain symbols can unite us despite our differences. In today's fast-paced world, the katana's emphasis on mindfulness, focus, and discipline offers valuable lessons for personal growth. Practitioners of Aikido and Kendo view the katana as more than a tool for combat. It is a means of cultivating inner peace and clarity. Drawing the blade requires absolute concentration, forcing practitioners to shed distractions and embrace the present moment. This meditative quality aligns with Zen Buddhist principles, making the katana a powerful metaphor for living with intention and purpose. Similarly, the katana's dual nature as both a weapon of destruction and a symbol of protection mirrors the complexities of human existence. It teaches us that strength and gentleness, aggression and restraint, are not mutually exclusive but complementary forces that must coexist in harmony. This duality encourages introspection, challenging individuals to reconcile conflicting aspects of their identity and strive for equilibrium. The katana's influence extends beyond traditional domains, inspiring innovation and creativity in fields as diverse as technology, design, and entertainment. Engineers study its metallurgical properties to develop advanced materials, while architects draw upon its sleek lines to inform modern aesthetics. Artists and designers incorporate katana-inspired motifs into fashion, furniture, and digital media, reimagining its timeless elegance for new audiences. In the realm of storytelling, the katana continues to captivate imaginations, serving as a narrative device that embodies heroism, sacrifice, and transformation. From epic films to immersive video games, the katana enriches narratives with its rich symbolism and dynamic potential. Its ability to evoke emotion and convey meaning ensures its relevance in an ever-changing cultural landscape. Perhaps the most profound aspect of the katana's legacy is its embodiment of resilience. Throughout history, the katana has faced numerous threats, from political upheavals and wartime bans to economic pressures and technological advancements. Yet, each time, it has risen anew, adapting to changing circumstances without losing its essence. This resilience mirrors the indomitable spirit of the Japanese people, who have overcome countless challenges to preserve their cultural heritage. On a broader scale, the katana serves as a beacon of hope for all who seek to safeguard tradition in the face of modernity. It reminds us that even in times of uncertainty, we possess the power to protect what matters most, to honor the past, while embracing the future. Whether through grassroots initiatives, governmental support, or individual passion, the katana's survival demonstrates the collective strength of communities united by a common purpose. The katana's enduring legacy lies in its ability to transcend time, space, and context. It is more than a sword, it is a mirror reflecting the aspirations, struggles, and triumphs of those who wield it and admire it. Its journey from the hands of ancient smiths to the hearts of millions worldwide is a testament to its timeless resonance and universal appeal. As we conclude this exploration of the katana's storied history, we are reminded of the words of Miyamoto Musashi, who viewed the katana as an extension of the soul. In every curve, every hamon, and every strike, the katana carries forward the stories of those who came before, inviting us to add our own chapters to its ongoing saga.